Hi folks, this is the second installment for the INF 1030 Word 1 course through Northern Lakes College. We're going to be doing Chapter 2, which is called Creating a Research Paper with References and Sources, and that is out of the Microsoft Word 2013 textbook. That looks like this. On the screen, you'll see the access granted project already typed up. I wanted to save time in this recording, so you don't have to watch me type out what I'm being told to type out. So what we'll be doing is we'll be doing an abbreviated lesson. I'm going to be showing you the different areas to click and how to insert the reference points, but I'm not going to have you sit through the actual typing component of the project. So to start, the project does start on page WD 67, and the first couple pages are all how to set up the double spacing, the alignments, the sizing, and the font type that you're being asked to use. So I have skipped all of that part, and the demonstration is actually going to start on page WD 74, where we're being asked to enter the page number and the last name in what is called the header. So there are multiple options to access the header. The first way, as the textbook suggests, is they want us to click Insert, and then you want to click Header, and then you're going to click the one that says Branded, or it says, sorry, right at the bottom, Edit Header, and we can enter that way. Now, a double click away from there. Faster way to access the header is just to double click the blank part in the top of the page. So if you just double click there, you're automatically in the header, and that's the quicker way to do it without using the ribbon toolbars. What the textbook wants us to do is align right. So we're going to click Align Right. Mine happened to already be aligned right, but if you have to click it, that's how you get it to start on the right-hand side of the page. We want to insert page number, is what WD 75, WD 76 is asking you to insert. So we're going to insert page number. We want to do top of page, plain number on the right hand side, and you see a number 1 show up, and then we're going to type in Bailey, which is the fictitious character of the author of this essay, and then 1. So you're going to literally have a Bailey 1. So now the last name and the page number will change on every page without you having to type it. So you'll notice it is grayed out. That's how you know it's in the header. And if I just drag down, you'll see Bailey 2, and will continue like that, so on and so forth, until the essay is completed. Now, as I said, this is already pre-typed, so I'm going to have to do things a little bit different. I'm going to have to push Enter here so that I can move the whole essay down a little bit. And I'm going to align left, and we're now at the top of WD 79, and I need to type in what it's asking me. So October 15, 2014. You'll notice it's all double spaced, and to set that up, you just hit Enter, and you would have set that up in the introductory pages of this project to double space. Just a recap of that would be, you could type it all up if it's single spaced, and you could just highlight it and then change it to double, single, remove spaces, remove space if you want, would work. Double is what we want though. And that's a faster way to do it. So that takes us to the end of WD 79. As we move forward, it's asking us to save the document. So again, you click File, Save As. In my case, I'm saving it in Project 2, access granted in a certain place, and you can just go ahead and hit Save. And make sure you know where you're saving it. Save at the recommended save points, so that if anything does happen, get called away, or sometimes we have power outages, you don't lose the work you've done. Starting on page WD 82, After you type in access granted by centering the text, then you push enter again, and then you're going to start typing the biometric devices, which is the first part of writing. You're also going to align this tab right here so that every time you start a new paragraph, you don't have to push tab, which is how we show a new paragraph is started. If you don't adjust this first line indent, you'd have to push tab every time there's a new paragraph. I mean, whatever your preference is. Some people like to have Microsoft Word do more of the work. Some people like to do it more manually. Again, as long as when you hand it in, there are paragraphs and it's tabbed. There is an indentation, it's totally up to you. So when we get to page WD84, it's asking you to start typing in this biometric area. So go ahead and type that now. And I'm going to skip ahead to the section that actually has to do with our first reference insert. Now there's a whole bunch of examples in there of how to update your spelling book, how to update your spell check and grammar corrections, and all that stuff is interesting to know, but it's not necessary to complete the activity. So I do encourage you to go through those pages, make sure you recognize, in particular, if a word is underlined in red, like I just typed there as a demonstration, that means it's spelled wrong. So you should probably right-click it, check it out. I was going to type underline. Another thing that we might see is blue text that appears under words or an entire sentences. It could mean it's a sentence fragment, or it's an incomplete sentence, or something's not done correctly. It is worth investigating. It's not always correct, Microsoft Word suggestion, but you should look into it. So once you're done typing up the first paragraph, which actually takes us to, the first two paragraphs, which actually takes us to the end of page WD88, we're then asked to change our bibliography style. So you're going to click the References tab, and usually it's set on MLA, so you might not have to do this step, but you want to ensure that it's set to MLA for this activity, because this is what I'm looking for. So you just click the MLA section, and again, you've typed these two paragraphs that I have highlighted. So once you've typed these paragraphs, you're going to notice that you're going to have right here, actually, you're going to have what's called an insertion point. And what the insertion point means is we're going to click references. You're going to see what this means right there. You're going to make sure that you have your cursor blinking where you want the source to be entered. And you're going to insert citation. And you're going to do add new source. And this create source option is going to pop up. You're going to make sure that we put this in an article and a periodical. And you're going to follow all the information on page WD90, and you're going to fill it in. So Rossi, Marcel, Enrico. If you hit tab, you can go to the next options, or you can use the mouse to click the next aspect. And it says understanding how to use fingerprint readers. And then it's in a digital security review, the year 2014, month, August, pages and page, it should be a lowercase p, medium is the web. It's asking us to show all entries, and we're then going to slide it down, and we're going to say, when did we access this? So we're literally going to say, we found it as per the textbook in the year 2014, the month of October, and the third day. And then we're going to click OK. And you're going to see that Rossi showed up there. And I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but it's actually changing gray on my other monitor here with the recording. I can see that it's turning gray. So you can see that means we have an insertion point. That's what we want to see, that Rossi has showed up there, and that is our insertion point. Now, the next thing you're going to type is this part here. We're going to put a period here, and I'm just going to adjust this period there, Rossi. Now, you're going to go ahead and type that up in your assignment. And that takes you to the end of page WD91. It then wants us to save at this point. So since you've already saved, you can just click Save. file save, or you can click this nifty little save button right at the top. Hit the save button, and it saves in that location and file name that you called it. Remember, you can see the name of the title up here. My mouse is over it. In this case, I called it Project 2 Access Granted. That was my choice. You can call it whatever you want, as long as you know what it is, so you can submit it later. Now, at the end of fingerprint readers, you're going to hit space, and we're going to do what is called inserting a footnote. So this is WD92. Run references, insert, not endnote, insert footnote. So you click insert footnote, and you'll notice that it pops down to the bottom here. And what we're going to do is we are now going to insert a new placeholder. So we're going to insert new placeholder, and we're going to call it Nadir. Now I can't type Nadir because I already have done this project before, so I'm showing you what to do. You would click OK, but I can't. The reason being is, well, I can't have two placeholders with the same name. So what I'm going to do is I go back to insert citation, and there's my Nadir right there. So it says Nadir in white. Then you're going to click OK, and you're going to notice that it pops up, and you're going to be asked to have already typed this stuff right here. So I'm going to bring this down to Nadir in white. Now, what's happening here is once we get to page WD94, 95, we're being asked to adjust this. So we highlight it, home, make it double spaced, okay? We make it size 12 font and Times New Roman. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna tab it so that it's written in such a way that it will look on page WD96. I'm going to highlight this, and we need to do edit source. It's going to pull up all this information here. So when you highlight it, you click edit source, and you make sure that it's a book. You fill in all this information, similar to the way we did the Rossi heading the first time, but it's different information, different sources. Go through the process and make sure that everything looks okay there. Once you click OK, you go through it. It's going to say Nadir in white, and then we're going to click this up, and we're going to say edit citation. We're going to change what we want. So we're going to actually say it's going to be 62-63, and we're going to say author and title. We're going to click OK. See, now change to 62-63, and we're actually going to move this to the end. And we're going to just adjust this period here so that it's there. So now we see it says Nadir in white. The citation is page 62-63. Nadir in white will correspond with what is actually seen at the end of the document when we get to that point with the works cited page. So we're now completed page WD99. So I recommend you save again. And working with footnotes and endnotes, it's a really neat thing to get used to and how to manipulate. Page WD100, a face recognition system. It's asking you to type this aspect, this paragraph. So go ahead and do that now. And then I'm going to delete this because it's a second version of the footnote. I don't need it, and it won't appear on your screen. Now we're going to bring this back. Some mobile devices with face recognition. This is page WD101. Continue writing that, and you're going to run into a section that has hairstyles. Within a hairstyles, space, exactly what it's asking you to do, And then at the bottom of page WD 101, after you've typed in this paragraph, it says number 3. After you've hit the space bar, click the Insert Citation button. So we're going to go back to References, Insert Citation. We're going to do Add a New Source. Or sorry, Add New Placeholder. And we're going to call it Alan Smith. Okay. Then you notice Alan Smith popped up and you can see it's graying. So that means there's a placeholder there. When you submit your Word document, I'm going to be checking that all of these placeholders exist. So you can't just kind of put the word in brackets. One, the placeholder has to exist. And then I'm going to actually be able to check, for example, in this case, when you click it, if this option actually comes up to end the sentence, when this option pops up, have you actually, I'm now at the bottom of page, or I guess the whole page WD 103, we're going to edit citation. Sorry, we're going to edit source. All of this information pops up and you're going to put in this information as best you can. Well, it's actually a website. So we got to scroll down and you're copying it from the book. So Samantha Clare, and the name of the web page is Understanding Face Recognition Systems. The year, production company is named Course Technology, and some of you may not have noticed, but I clicked to show all bibliography fields so I had more information in place. The year, month, day, well, it's actually stay blank because it's a website. But your access is important. So we have to put 2014 2014 tab. Month access is September. Day access is the 16th. And scroll down some more. Medium, web. You'll notice all these other fields that are involved. When you start to do your own research and use this feature, it's best to fill in as much as you can because it enhances your bibliographic section at the very end. For this purposes, you just fill in the information that the textbook's asking you for, and that's what I'm looking for. Excuse me, click OK, and then that saves our Alan Smith source citation, and that finishes up WD 103. Now, when we finish typing this last paragraph on page WD 104, so you're going to go ahead and do that now. When you're finished, you're going to notice that it's asking you to do a page break. Okay, now, page break you can do 2 ways. Push enter, you can hold the control key on your keyboard, and push enter again, and you're going to notice it says page break. So that means no matter what, you're going to start a 3rd page. Now I'm going to delete that page break. There's another way to do it too. When you're home, you click Insert, and you click Page Break. Does the same thing. If you want to use a keyboard, use a keyboard. If you want to use the ribbon and the icons, use the ribbon on the icons. Same outcome. It doesn't matter. But the textbook does want you to break a page. The textbook does want you to start a 3rd page. Notice the fictitious character's name and the page numbers showing up in the footer that we did all the way at the beginning of this lesson automatically. Now, we are in the final page, the final pages. We want to create a works cited page. So what we're doing is WD 105 is still talking about the examples of the footnote and stuff that I had just mentioned, okay, and the manual break and the page breaks. What we need is we need to type works cited. We've done that. Now we want to make sure that's in the center, so we're going to click Home, and we're going to hit the center button of the ribbon. There we go, now it's centered. Now we're going to hit Enter again. We're going to make sure our things are, our cursor is back on the left alignment. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click References, we're going to click Bibliography, and we're going to do Works Cited. We're going to delete this part that says works cited. And there, you have it. We have a document that has a completed works cited page with all the information that we used throughout the document to tell us, our readers, where the information has come from. And we were able to put that in with the click of a button through the bibliography and the references. And that is what the textbook is wanting us to do. Now, at the end of page 107, it's talking about some things to make sure that your works cited page is done correctly. So, for example, the second line of every source is indented. It's like the opposite of a paragraph. Notice how they're indented on the second line, not the first line. And if you keep the page to page WD 107, it is giving you different options and how to cut and paste. It's how to do spell check, how to change words, and whatnot. So now we're on page WD 109. How do you modify a source? So what we have to do is we have to click References. Now we click Manage Sources. Look at all this. Now here's your current list. Here's what you're currently working with. And we're going to click Rossi and Marcello. And then we click Edit. And all the information shows up here. And then we've got to delete the word understanding. And we click OK. Yes. So now we've updated those changes. And this hasn't updated our works cited. So now we have to see its exclamation mark. Things have changed. So we have to update it. It got rid of the word understanding. So whenever you make a change, you just go to the end, click Update your works cited section, and you're ready to go. And that's what page WD 110 is asking us to do. Now, how to switch pages fast. Show you how to do this. Home, and then you can click Page Layout. There's a way to set up the navigation panes. And we actually click View, and we want to do a navigation pane, and that opens up what we see on the left-hand side here. So we know that we can see pages. We can quickly go page 2, page 3, page 4. If there are 100 pages, we can quickly just click down page 99, and then page 99 would show up on the big screen. So that's what we're looking at in page WD 111. It's talking about cutting and pasting on page 112. So we can, for example, cut and paste words. There's multiple options. So you could say biometric, you could Control C and Control V. So Control C copies, Control V pastes. Or you could highlight it, right click, copy, wherever you want to put the word, right click, paste. Different types of pasting. Those are two options how to do it as well. And there's another option of finding words. This is really neat trick. Is you push Control V and you type any word you want. So let's do recognition. Every time the word recognition shows up in the document, it'll highlight it yellow. And you can actually use these arrows on the left-hand side. Go down, 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 find the one you want all the times you've seen it. So when you're doing research, you can kind of find information faster than reading the whole document. So it's a neat feature to learn to utilize. Another example is using this in this example is we want to get to, instead of navigation, we want to make it so that we can edit things. So now we want to go back to home, we want to click replace. Instead of find, which was to control F, we want to replace. So we click replace. We don't want to do the word recognition because the textbook actually wants us to replace a certain word. We want to find the word element, or I guess it's lowercase, element. We're going to find it. There's only one instance. There's two instances. So which one do they want us to adjust? They want us to adjust the word both times. We want to replace element with the word identifier. Identifier. Just gotta make sure you spell it right. So every word in this document that is element will be replaced with this word. When we click replace all, it made two adjustments, and that's perfect. Identifier, my mistake here. Identifier, replace all. I spelled the word wrong. Identifier. We want to. There we go. Let's go back here. There we go. Element, replace. T-I-F-I-E-R. T-I-F-I-E-R. Replace all. Yes, done. Close. There we go. You gotta make sure you don't make a spelling mistake, because then it'll change all of the words with the incorrectly spelled word. So that's an unintended lesson that we just had there. We're then looking for how to find synonyms, and we're looking at words occupational. So home and occupational users. We're looking to replace the word occupational. Synonym, we want business. So home and business, we'll just change the word to business. If you want to do spell check, you hit this button down here. We can decide what, well, Nadir, that's the person's last name, so we have to ignore that one. And everything else is fine. That's how you know your document's finished. And when we are continuing through this section, it's telling you you can go to read mode or different view mode. So view, you can do read mode. So this, you're not supposed to edit, but you can just read it. This makes it easier to read. Hit escape to get out of that view. And as we go through, we get into page WD 123, and we're actually finished. So this would be the completed document that you would send to me, and I would look up things like your references are being in place properly, this kind of stuff's there, your title's centered, the last name with the page numbers is correct, you have a work cited that's properly done. If you put in all your information, this is done for you, so everything will be fine. At the end, again, you just save it up, and then you follow the procedure that you've now done a couple times in the class for submitting your Word document via Moodle assignment in the appropriate location in our Moodle shell. Now, as per always, I want you folks to give me a shout at the following information that's about to pop up on your screen if you need help. If you don't, that's great. I look forward to your submitted assignments, and I'll see you if you're taking the next class, the INF 1060 course, for the first project lesson. Have a good day.